Hey, thanks for joining us at the Weekly Word Outdoor Adventure Time. We're over here, not too many miles from Hiawassee Dam, North Carolina, at the old Reid Cemetery. My line of ancestors are buried here up to a certain point. Used to be the old Reid's Chapel Methodist Church set right here north of the cemetery. In 1890s, it moved over here on another hill, and they've got a cemetery over there now. But this is where the old Reids are. It's really grown up since I was here 4 or 5 years ago or more. I'm gonna make a point to bring my weed eater and brush blade in here and try to clean this up this fall. It's quickly becoming a pine thicket. The last time I was here, somebody was taking care of it and it's still being mowed. But this is my fifth great-grandpa, great-grandpa, Samuel Reid. He fought at Guilford Courthouse and Kings Mountain, and he was in several Revolutionary War battles, including later on he was even in the War of 1812. I guess he didn't like the British very much, but he's a Revolutionary War patriot. And he lived to be 101 years old here, 1750 to 1851 he lived. I don't think I'm gonna make it that far. Didn't get those genes, I don't think. Here's his son beside of him, be my fourth great-grandpa, Robert Reid, 1808. I can't even read the other one there when he was born, but he lived on up through the Civil War because he had 5 boys that fought in the Civil War. One of them was my third great-grandpa. Robert's wife's right here beside of him, Elizabeth. We have to walk over here to find my third great-grandpa, so let's walk over here. Here's my third great-grandpa, great-great-great-grandpa, Samuel Reid, another Samuel. And he fought for the 40th Illinois Union Army in the Civil War. I don't know, as far as I know, he never went to Illinois, but I guess he found a unit somewhere and joined up with them and was at Shiloh and Chattanooga. And he went with Sherman everywhere. I think he was involved in burning the ironworks at Tellico and after he was coming back from up at Knoxville. But that's great-great-grandpa Samuel. And the family still has his discharge papers where he got discharged from the Civil War. Right down here beside him is my great-great-grandpa, Jesse. Jesse's house is still standing over in the woods where it was 4 or 5 years ago when I hiked out there to look at it. Nobody had lived in it since the 60s, but it was still standing, just growed up in the woods over there. I just drove by the house that he was born in, which is still standing. It's a Cherokee-built cabin that somebody had later built a full house around, and then later on they were tearing down the old house and they realized this old Cherokee cabin was in it. That would have been the cabin that Jesse would have been born in, Samuel and his wife Myra's. But after this, my line goes to Englewood. They moved over to Englewood, and the great-grandpa and papa, they're buried over at Sunset in Englewood. But I like to come over here every once in a while. Kind of shocked to see how this has grown up and hoping to get it cleaned up this fall. But I hope to meet these folks when I get to heaven. You know, I hope to be able to shake hands and meet them and fellowship with them. From what I've read, they did trust in the Lord. And I hope to sit and visit with you a little bit when we get to heaven too. And that all depends on, have you placed your trust in Jesus? I have, and I hope you have too. And I firmly believe there's going to be a great fellowship time when we get there. And thanks to Jesus for that. If you haven't made your peace with God through Christ, do so now, because one of these days there'll just be a stone or something here on earth to remember you by. But your spirit, your soul's going to be somewhere else, and it's still going to be alive. We'll see you next week on the Weekly Word.